We're doing the oil change today on a 2015 2.4 liter GMC Terrain. Mine has a bit over 200,000 miles. So with that being said, I use 10W30, but this takes 5W30. So please don't be confused by the oil when I use it. As just for me at this point, I am way better off using 10W30 since this oil is notorious for burning quite a bit of oil. And as another tip, check your oil on this vehicle every 1,000 miles because it will consume more oil than you expect no matter what you do. And the worst thing that you can happen is have this engine go on oil. You'll pretty much destroy your engine at this point. So with that said, we'll get started. Here are what I have for parts. Of course, your jack stand, oil pan. Here are the torque specs, 18 foot-pounds on your drain plug as well as your filter cap. I'm using 3/8 inch wrenches. It's a 15 millimeter socket that goes into my plug. I did buy a new plug, so this could be a 14 millimeter originally. You have to double check that. This is my torque wrench. I use an extension as well as one of these when I take off the oil cap. Makes it much easier. I use nothing but mobile one, synthetic. It's been good to me. Of course, this is personal preference. Like I said, I use 10W30 at this point just because I live in Texas. It is much hotter, as well as I've got 200,000 miles on it, so I want that bit more viscosity so it doesn't burn it as quick. This is extra. This is completely me. I use a Lucas oil stabilizer. That way it helps try to combat some of that oil burning and as well as it helps with dry starts. With this vehicle, a 2.4 liter Ecotech, it does take 4.9 quarts total with an oil filter. So whatever you add to this would be separate. Honestly, I add probably about this much, half a quart most of the time added. So I do run a bit over the 4.9 quart specifications, but I've never had any issues with it, and I know I'm gonna burn oil along the way, so I'd rather have that bit more from the get-go than run low at any point. For my jack placement, I like to put it right there, flat. It doesn't harm anything, and it helps me put my jack stand wherever I need it. Jack stand normally I put from here to here. You can put it sideways, from what I understand, but I prefer to put it, the Y shape like that. Okay, so now we're gonna drain the oil drain plug. So like this. Having a breaker bar helps. I don't want to use one for this video, but normally I use a breaker bar. Or a glove. Helps keep the oil away. And there's the black gold. So we'll let that drain out, come back when that's done. This is normally how I do. Get that oil filter out, put the rotating socket there, put an extension and then another extension, and then you ratchet. Easy way to get in here. It's going to be through here, just like that. Kind of want to keep an angle this way. That sucker will be popping out. You know, keep a good angle. There we go. Another glove. Pretty dirty in there as far as the oil goes. Me personally, I like 7,000 to 8,000 miles between my oil changes. I know some people think that's too much, but oil technology nowadays, as long as your filter's good, your oil will be able to run it pretty easily. It's worked out for me, like I said, but that's definitely a personal preference. But 3,000 for synthetic oil, full synthetic oil, 3,000 is definitely overkill nowadays. I would at least go every 5,000 miles with full synthetic. But, you know, that's your money, spend it how you please. As you can see, some oil does stay in there. And just being the person I am, I like to clean that up. I'm guessing you can leave that there. But, you know, your shop towels. Try to get as much of that old oil as you can. I did raise the vehicle pretty high. I should have probably put the front of it facing that way. But I didn't. So I know I'm gonna have a bit of oil left over here, since it's not gonna run down that way as I normally would. Sorry if it loses focus. This plastic area takes a lot of the focus away. Let's see if I can get a better view here. So that'll do. It's decently clean. So I can clean a little bit of this outside. Stuff that got oil on it. So with the new filter, you know, you've got your seal here, so just pop it out. New filter placement is pretty easy on here. Nope. That's pretty much all there is to it. Cherry filter should be almost feel like a spring. Mine's a bit loose. So many miles. As long as it holds in there, and you're putting pressure on it, so it'll stay on. So putting it back on again. Tilt it downward. It's gonna go like that. And you're just gonna tighten it a bit. So it's going on smooth. So tighten. So it's 18 foot-pounds. So I'm overly cautious now with that. I feel like everybody's always broken something or two, so I prefer to just. This one's like 50 bucks. It's not the best quality, but it does the job for what I need it for. I'm not a professional mechanic by any means, but I am a pretty advanced home mechanic, I would say. And this, to adjust it, it's fairly easy. It was confusing to me at first, but you know, so normally you leave these at 0. That's how you store them, at 0 and 10. So you store them at 10 foot-pounds. So since we're doing 18, that's 15 right there. 17, 18. So it's 18 foot-pounds right there. Go ahead and tighten this back up again. I'm gonna leave you there. Gonna go ahead and get our previous socket. Make sure. Make sure it's adjustable. We're gonna go back in here. Like I said, you need a good, find a good angle, otherwise it will start slipping on you. About it. It's about as tight as it goes, about as tight as I need it to go. And I'm going to now finish up on the downside, underside. Okay, so now got this down to a small drip. You know, you can wait as however long as you want till you get most of the oil out, but you're never going to get 100% of the oil out. So in my instance, I just let it till it starts dripping a little bit slow, like this. Take a little bit more off while we're at it. Try to speed this up. Pretty much gonna hand tighten it all since it goes in fairly smoothly. Clean the bolt out a bit. Get that out. Get this out of the way now. Trusty torque wrench. And you hear that pop. Make sure we're at 18. And there we are. Give it a little bit more push just in case. We're at the 18 foot-pound mark. So we're pretty much done. Now we just gotta fill it up with oil. Sorry about that, I forgot to add. I always got an oil filter. Just a funnel, sorry. Makes this much easier, especially with these bigger jugs nowadays. So make sure. Keep it in a Ziploc bag because we got a lot of pollen over here and a lot of debris, so to keep it clean mostly, but it's always a good idea just to clean it up a bit more. Get any debris that might have been there out. And you just start pouring. One more thing I wanted to add is that this oil change procedure works on all Chevy Equinoxes, GMC Terrains, and Pontiac Torrents years 2005 through 2017. As long as you have this 2.4 liter Ecotech engine, the procedure should be exactly the same. I have about 5 or 6 funnels for different fluids. I got one for hydraulic fluid, I got one for transmission fluid, I've got one for additives whenever I put them in the gas tank. You know, I never like to cross-contaminate if possible, so you know, these are about $1 or $2. Sometimes they give them away for free whenever you buy oil change specials, so definitely always grab some if you can, especially if they're free. You know, you never know when you're going to need a clean funnel. So that's pretty much all of it. I like to always close it up, leave it like this for a bit, get some of the oil that's run down, you know, get your money's worth. Clean here. I was on the newer vehicles, or low mileage, I should say, vehicles, I wouldn't worry too much about oil stabilizers. But since my vehicle has such a high mileage at this point, I feel like anything helps, and getting this extra bit of additive protection helps out quite a bit. This one I eyeball it. Like I said, you're already over the 5 quarts, so you don't want to go too crazy. That should be about enough. And with this amount, you know, you're not adding a crazy amount where it's gonna bubble up, or you know, I should say aerate. The oil should not be aerating at any point. And then you get that last bit out. So we're pretty much done here. Don't forget to put your cap back on. I have done that once or twice and ended up with a lost cap and a whole bunch of lost oil. And we're pretty much done here. One more step. So we're always going to try to, you know, start the engine again, make sure everything sounds good. Hit the menu button. I got a stability track, don't worry about that. I'm trying to fix that right now. So, you know, we're here. We have to go to menu once. We get to this tire pressure layout. Remaining oil life. So we're gonna reset it. Gonna set. Press that once. Make sure you want to reset. You're gonna go up 1 to yes. You're gonna press set, clear again, and we're back at 100%. I still write my oil changes down, so I changed it at, you know, 203,000 miles, and then I normally don't change it until every 7,000 or 8,000 miles, so I won't do the next oil change till 210,000 miles, just to make it easy on myself. And that's it. Engine's running smoothly. Staying at constant RPMs. You know, no codes besides this, but this is separate. This is got an ABS module issue I'm trying to fix, but of course there's no parts. But that's it, man. If y'all want to see anything else with these vehicles, you know, I've pretty much done everything to this vehicle at this point, so some stuff is still pretty new, other stuff might be getting there. So please go ahead, comment, subscribe. This is my first vehicle. I will try to be doing more DIY videos, you know, stuff around the house. I have a log splitter, might do some videos with that. Or y'all can comment and we can go from there, what y'all want to see me do. And yeah, hit that like and subscribe.